Dig it. All right, let's move to the offensive line. Wilson, your top five. Ike Ekwonu, number 1. Evan Neal, number 2. Charles Cross, 3. Tyler Linderbaum, 4. And Kenyan Green, 5. I don't think that's a particularly shocking ranking, unless I'm forgetting. I'll look and figure out if I'm forgetting something obvious, but sort of give us the rundown there on your top 5, mostly focusing on
Icky. Yeah. So I've talked Icky, Evan, and Charles Cross to death. So
yeah, no, you don't have to spend a ton. I mean, I think again, this draft is weird because it's defensive line and offensive line up top, and that makes it less appealing from a public standpoint. But
yeah,
we all still have to talk about it, which means it's nonstop chatter about Icky, Neal, Thibodeau, Hutch, and who else? You know?
And I like Icky. I like Evan. I like Charles Cross. I like all those guys, and I think they all deserve to be top 6 picks. And I think it'll play that way. We'll find out. But Tyler Linderbaum, he's the guy that had going like in top 15, top 10 of these mock drafts that I do every week, even as recently as January. I think he's that good. Prisco said he talked to a team that has him graded as the best center they've graded in the last 20 years.
Whoa.
But here's the thing about taking a center that high, and I have them going usually to the Cowboys at 24, or maybe even the Bengals at 31. Going back 20 years, I think, maybe since 2010. So going back to 2010, only 3 centers have been drafted as high as 18. One is your dude, Garrett Bradbury. The other one is Marquise Pouncey, and the other is Ryan Kelly. And 2 of those 3 guys are probably worth the 18th pick. The other one's still sort of figuring things out. You disagree with that?
Bradbury's been fine.
That's a homer talking. But I love Linderbaum. I think he's going to be a really good player. Creed Humphrey went in the 2nd round last year. I wasn't as high on him as I should have been because he's good. I think Linderbaum is better than Creed Humphrey. And again, you put him out there and he's going to go. And for a team like the Steelers who struggle so much in the interior offensive line, that just feels like a natural fit there if he's even available. Kenyan Green is a guy who I have as the 5th guy here. Played outside of Texas A&M. He's going to probably play inside of the NFL, which he did last year. And he's nasty. He plays with an edge. And he's a guy that feels like he would fit perfectly on that Chargers offensive line. They had some holes, especially on the right side. They'll have some holes in the interior offensive line. And again, the recurring theme for this draft isn't that it's that there are no sort of premier quarterbacks, in which case you need to draft these offensive linemen to protect the premier quarterbacks that are already on the roster, whether it's Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, whoever it is. And I think Kenyan Green has a chance to be a really good football player. Now, two names that aren't here that maybe you were thinking about, Brinson. Trevor Penning.
Yeah.
I like him as a late round 1, early round 2. And I
think he goes easily first round.
He's going to go higher than that. I talked to a team the other day that said he's going to go higher than that. And part of that's based on need. I mean, teams overdraft quarterbacks all the time, and they overdraft offensive tackles all the time.
Like Penning's almost a lock to go ahead of Linderbaum just because of.
No, I think so. I think
more needs at the tackle position than there are at the center position.
No, I think that's fair. But again, he played FCS competition, so you have to wonder about that. He did really well in the Iowa State game. I like the dude a lot. He was a lot of fun to talk to at the combine, and you're pulling for him. Emery talked about pulling for the small school guys. I'm pulling for him to have success, but I mean, you take him 10. If you're the Jets, that's putting a lot of pressure on a dude that may not be ready for that pressure, both in terms of playing at a small school and also physically. So we'll see. I've talked to front office folks who's not sure he's a left tackle. Maybe he's better on the right side. I like his game. I just like it in the 2nd round, not in the 1st.
The Penning thing is interesting too because I think that it factors into sort of how this. So like as I mentioned, all these teams have 2 picks: the Texans, the Jets, and the Giants, right? Well. Like if you're the Jets and you take a Thibodeau or Sauce Gardner at 4,
you're back to Thibodeau. By the way, I love that.
Thibodeau, I know, right? Whatever.
Basketball season.
It's just going to be like if you were thinking about an offensive lineman with your 2nd pick at 10, you may be in a position where you're like, oh, do we want Trevor Penning at 10? Because the other 3 guys probably not making it there, but they could go wide receiver anyway. I digress. Your thoughts on Wilson's rankings there, Emery?
I'm guessing at number 6, you probably have Zion Johnson. That's the only one that I.
Oh, I love Zion Johnson. That's right. That's close. 5 and 5.
He's interior only though. Like he's definitely.
He played left tackle for BC in 2020, but he'll kick inside. He's only 6'2", I think, maybe 6'3". He worked at center at the Senior Bowl. And I'm with you, Emery. I love Zion Johnson.
That was the only question I had. All these are fantastic offensive linemen.
Yeah, I feel like if there's any group, the 2 groups, it's defensive line.
And by the way, quickly, sorry, Brinson, just so you know, Zion Johnson transferred from Davidson He was an academic All-American, so he's that dude's smart too.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Didn't realize
And that's not
Davidson had a football
scholarship
team.
FCS too.
Didn't know Davidson had a football team, but
I didn't either.
I saw a couple of games.
My grandfather and his brother played football at Davidson way back in the day.
Do they know Steph Curry?
No, I covered Davidson and Steph Curry in college.
Okay.
I broadcast a Davidson game when they played Georgetown.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I
yeah.
did. I did the UNCG Davidson game. It was fun. Twice actually. I walked in with Steph and Mrs. Curry one time. That was fun. Anyway, not Steph.
Dell.
His
That's
dad.
what I say.
Anywho, your guy Wilson, who you pounded the table for on this list.
Tyler Linderbaum. I basically explained why a moment ago, especially if we're talking about after pick 19.
I've heard. I think it was Lance Zierlein over on NFL.com, and I think Brandon Thorne did it too. Have comped him to Jason Kelce, excuse me. Which, I mean, Jason Kelce is probably a Hall of Fame center. And he's. I think he came back this year. This may be his final year too. Probably his final year. Yeah.
Philly has 2 picks, and we've talked about wide receiver, and
that's why it would be interesting. The Eagles have those 2 picks there. Like, if you want Tyler Linderbaum, and you want to take him at 15, you could do it, right, Emery?
I don't know if you guys saw my recent CSports.com 2022 NFL mock draft, but which is up now on the website. But I do have Philly taking Tyler Linderbaum, and the point I made was, I know people probably feel as though Dickerson is the heir apparent, but if he's balling out at guard, why not draft the best center, and leave him at guard? That way you have excellence on the interior offensive line.
By the way, I know why Emery loves Thibodeau, because no one is all about their brand more than Emery. That's why he loves.
Hey!
No, he's always. Hey, I'm not hating on him.
I'm saying you're saying that he's more about his brand than I'm about my brand.
Well, Emery actually, through the course of conversation, works in the stuff he's doing, and you're just talking about nonsense. Like, you're talking about where you're going to go play golf.
By the way, everybody's got. I didn't like, even JJ's doing a mock draft. Jonathan Jones.
Yeah, he just did his first one today.
Yeah, he has the Seahawks trading up with the Panthers to take
Malik. But read the blurb there, which is very interesting from Malik. You got it in front of you?
I pitched this trade to a GM last week, and he said it was the only scenario available where Willis actually goes top 10. Seattle needs a quarterback. Carolina wants to trade back. Seahawks have a second rounder to give. Panthers GM Scott Fitterer came from Seattle.
So I think it's very interesting that the GM he spoke with thought this is the only way Malik goes top 10, which, that would be again one of those crazy storylines Emery was talking about, because we have no idea what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, I would also point out that the Seahawks could simply draft him at 9, and that would also get him into the top 10. But I mean, I digress. Or the Falcons could take him, or the Lions could take him.
All right, I don't want to get sidetracked here, but over under, how many quarterbacks go in the top 10?
I will take the under on whatever number.
1.5.
Under.
I'll take. I think the line would actually be a half, and the under.
You think the line's going to be a half on quarterbacks in the top 10? I do too, but Prisco keeps saying everyone I talk to says 2 quarterbacks are going in the top 10.
And then he doesn't mock them, or he doesn't say anybody's going to do it.
Right.
It's because people are trying to feed Pete info to get him to talk about it. He's like, I'm not getting used again. I'm sick and tired of being used.
I'm with you guys.
No one uses me.
I'm with you guys.
I'm my own man.
I think only one goes. But I thought JJ's note was interesting, at least to the GM he spoke with, that if Malik doesn't go, then no one's going.
Your buyer beware. We got to get to this.
Okay,
I don't even have this slander on this podcast. Your buyer beware is Ike Ekwonu.
And here's the only reason why. Nicky told us this at the combine. He said, "Look, man, I need to work on my pass sets. Yeah. That's it." So that's the one little. It ain't even a red mark. It's written in like pencil, with a pinkish hue.
He is an elite run blocker and
elite athlete.
Yeah,
elite
absolutely.
Run blocker.
Like, he puts dudes at the second level into the ground.
I told him, I bring it up all the time. I told him a nickname for him is Dr. Pancake.
That's right.
I love him.
And he's got all the syrup bottles, right?
What does it say?
Dave Doran gave out syrup bottles for pancakes.
Oh, okay. I thought
he has more than.
Oh, he didn't tell us that. I thought he changed
the.
I thought you were going to tell me he stole my idea and then
I
gave
was
me
going to
credit.
say something about a brand of syrup, but I don't want to.
Oh, you hear that, Emery? He's afraid he can't say Yanchimama on the
time.
Did
they cancel it? I don't know.
Right. Like, you never know, man. You never know.
2022. Who the hell knows what you could say?
That's why I'm holding off.
Just scared to wear a Master's hat. I mean,
just go ahead and say it and we'll work it out on the back end.
No.
Not to hit that record button. But what I want to say about
Is
Icky
there
is
another kind of famous syrup? Couldn't even think of anything.
Pearl Milling Company now. Yeah, exactly. I have some in my cabinet. My
what kind is it?
Pearl Milling Company. That's what they call Aunt Jemima.
Oh, they changed it.
They
Yeah,
changed
they
it.
changed it. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
I don't
so
know
it
another.
is canceled.
I don't know another syrup company like that from growing up. I don't even remember anything else.
Oh wait, no! Oh my God! On the Pearl Milling Company, this is a tangent like only this podcast can get off on. It's Pearl Milling Company. Like since 1845, it's like same great taste as Aunt Jemima.
Oh, they put that on there?
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Take the name off.
They wrote it in small print.
No. Pearl Milling, perfectly fine. But our history, brand origins, and frequently asked questions. I wonder what is Pearl Milling Company new? Though new to store shelves, Pearl Milling Company was founded in 1888.
Will Pearl Milling syrup make me racist? Like
frequently asked question. How will I know this is still Aunt Jemima? Did Aunt Jemima change her name to Pearl Milling Company? Yes.
Oh man.
This is amazing. Are you discontinuing Aunt Jemima products? We can assure you there are no discontinuations of our products.
By the way, Emery,
you want me to put a blackface on the damn syrup bottle? Fine. Here, boom.
It's like we've included a sticker of Aunt Jemima. If you feel more comfortable with her on your syrup products, please attach this to the Pearl Milling.
The funny thing is,
Davis on a syrup bottle now.
The funny thing is, Emery, he was afraid to say Aunt Jemima. He just said it 25 times once he's reading
I'm reading it off the website now.
But anyway, the icky thing, what I was going to say for Dr. Pancake is that in terms of the athleticism that you were talking about, Brinson, he was state wrestling champ. And the other stat that I love is that he ran the anchor leg of the 4x100 at 285 in high school.
Yeah,
so the athleticism was there. But he just said, I got to work on my pass sets. The thing is, he was so athletic against ACC competition, he was destroying guys without the technique that he'll perhaps need in the NFL. But I think that's just why I mentioned him as a sleeper, especially if you're not a sleeper, but buyer beware, especially if he's the first overall pick. We talked about Treyvon Walker earlier. That's a legit buyer beware, but this is just me filling out a box. I love Icky.
I'm going to spend at least 30 to 45 minutes on the Pearl Milling company's website. It's like, why is Aunt Jemima removing the image from the packaging and changing its name? It's like, we are committed to progress, which includes both removing the image of Aunt Jemima and changing our name. Aunt Jemima has existed for more than 130 years, and we acknowledge that our origins were based on a racial stereotype. Wow.
The lawyers told him they had to say that. So
I guess so. That's crazy. I did not know about the Pearl Milling thing. Okay. Sleeper in a small school standout for you.
Rasheed Walker's my sleeper out of Penn State. My small school standout is Nick Zadell out of Fordham. He went to Fordham, right? Is that right?
Yeah,
Fordham. Fordham. I want to make sure I didn't get that wrong.
In the Bronx.
Yeah. So Walker,
That's where Nick Costos went.
Yeah. So did I think Stat Boy went there too.
Chase Edmonds Fordham? Is that right?
Chase Edmonds Fordham. Yep.
Yeah.
The Stat. I don't want to call him Stat Boy. What's Stat Boy's
Tony Reale?
Yeah. Did Tony Reale go there?
I don't think he goes by Stat Boy.
He did went to Fordham. Yeah, he went to Fordham too.
He went to Fordham with Spiro. What's Spiro's last name? Diaz. Yeah, I think they went to Fordham together. I couldn't remember Tony Reale's last name. I wouldn't call him Stat Boy if I could remember that. That's why. But I knew.
He did go to Fordham. Just checked.
Yeah, I think he and Spiro Diaz were. Yeah, I think he and Spiro Diaz were dudes back in the day. Anyway, enough about Fordham. I'll talk about that in a second. Rasheed Walker, insane athlete. We talk about Ike Kwani being an athlete. He is a really good athlete. He's just up and down. And I've talked to scouts that say he probably goes on day 3, but he has day 2 talent. If he can put it together, he's a guy that can be a quote unquote steal. I mean, go watch the Michigan game. He's shutting down Aiden Hutchinson and David Ajabo, and that's for real. And he had a couple slip-ups in the first series where he got smoked, and after that, he locked him down. So I love him there. Nick Zadell, went to the Senior Bowl, and he looked out of place. Like, he looked like one of those guys that was deer in headlights. But they played, I think they played either Wisconsin or Nebraska. I can't remember which game it was. He looked like he fit in, and he looked like he was a really good football player. He may have just been nervous or whatever. I don't know in Mobile. But again, he's a guy that sometimes the situation, especially these smaller school guys, it can be overwhelming when you're there with a bunch of 5-stars. But I think he's a good football player. We saw that during the course of the season, and he's a day 3 guy who I think can be a good contributor at the next level. May have to kick inside the guard, maybe plays right tackle. I don't know, but I wanted to give him a little shout out here.